Happy Saturday, everybody, and welcome to another night of racing here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. We had some good action last night, and which we'll recap some of that as well. And we've got plenty to look forward to here this evening with a few stakes events as well. Sad about the scratch of All-Star Maniac. We'd love to see him and Crackshot kind of go toe-to-toe in that stakes event, but we're excited nonetheless, and I'm also excited to have my co-host with me once again here this evening, the Hall of Famer Randy Waples. And nice card that we had last night, and we've got 12 more to go here. And again, tomorrow we get to wake up and enjoy some NFL football all day long. I can't wait for it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we got football tomorrow, and we'll have Red Mile.
Yeah, at night, yeah.
Listen to the sweet tones of Gabe Pruitt, probably, would be my guess.
Busy man. I mean, he's
oh my God.
Meadowlands yesterday doing the Fox show. He's at Batavia today for their New York Sire Stakes finals. Good luck to Fadeaway Hanover, one that a local hopeful there, who's been racing really, really well, was third in that most recent stakes event. I'm drawing a blank what it was exactly, but third behind
Simcoe, wasn't it?
Yeah, Simcoe, and great showing by him. He really stepped up in class, and still he finished up really well, and one that I think is going to be a main player this evening. So best of luck to Ben and Sarah and company.
Gabe Pruitt, have talent, will travel.
Yep.
That's about basically what it is. He's everywhere,
you
said.
He is everywhere.
And I agree with you, too. Great job done by Bergeron on Fadeaway Hanover. I mean, he just not recently got him, but, he didn't have him, all along or whatever. I think he's made a typical Benoit. He can help any horse, but trotters, wow, he stands out.
Big time. And speaking of out-of-town action, I mean, there's some stuff going on here tonight as well, obviously at Batavia. There's some stakes events going on at Scioto. But we had some stuff earlier on today at the Meadows, and we're going to see a couple of superstars. I think they're superstars who got the job done in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes final, and Mickey and Minnie getting it done as the 1-9 favorite. And listen, Rodeo Drive Dale Randy gave her a go in this spot. Dex came first over, ducked right back into the 2-hole and came out again, and just giving her a couple of reminders, and then she was wrapped up. This filly, I mean, she's got gears, she's got lungs, she's got it all.
Unbelievable is what. I'd love to know what he looked over and said to Dave, because it looked like Dave had a big smile on his face when Dexter said it, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, 49-4 last quarter and 27-4, and he shuts her down halfway down the lane. Hello.
Chris Ryder could have another horse of the year this year. I mean, I think as of right now, she's the favorite in that regard. I would have to say. But this guy's been a superstar as well, and one that hasn't lost yet this year. Blueprint coming back after a procedure getting done.
A little lighter.
A little lighter, I'd say, but the speed is still there.
Speed's there.
Worked out a trip behind Prince Hal Hanover, and you can see him slip up the inside and get the job done. But, man, this colt, again, he's done no wrong all season long, and this is one we're excited to see back here in October.
Amazing about him, too, there is because, he had all that time off. He's still stepping in against the very best of the glamour boys and beats them anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, really a clear-cut favorite, I think, is 3-year-old Pacing Colt of the year.
And you don't see, the wins aren't by a big margin.
No.
He just knows where the wire is. And
he's not flashy.
No, not at all. Nice effort there by Prince Hal Hanover. I mean, that was a game second place effort. There's no shame in finishing second to a colt like Blueprint, but that Darkmoor trainee, I mean, he's been super all season long. Tough draws, it doesn't matter. Gets raced hard every single week, like Darkmoor wants from his horses, but... Again, another really good effort. It's amazing how they just stay sharp all season long, being raced the way they are. I mean, that's talent as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's great management.
Yes.
That's the big thing is, watching a trainer manage a colt, through the stakes season. Amazing how they can come up with the things that they do, when to shut them down, when to give them that little bit of a break that they know that they're going to need, to kind of get, recharge and get through the, the back end of the season and that. And just, it's amazing. It's something that I could never do anyway.
Yeah, and he's got another colt to look forward to next week, assuming there are eliminations for the Metro. Obviously, Bojangles will be in to go, I'm sure, and gearing up for that big stakes event for rookie Pacing Colts. And we're pumped up about that as well.
Well, we know who we want to see face off. We want to see Bojangles and Frantic.
Oh, we would love that. We're lucky. We're getting some... we can't call it a rivalry, but we've got two colts that we think are at the top of their game right now, both undefeated. And we've got horses all across the sport that are going toe-to-toe that we've been excited about. I can't remember this many potential matchups that we've had in in one season.
Yeah, and the beauty of it too is like even like last night there, Nancy Tactor sent up that, what was her name?
Fabulous Hanover.
Yeah, like I mean, her lines looked okay, but she really stepped up there last night. So there's one that just been kind of not going through the motions, but just as a player in the first part of the season, who knows? The second part of the season, she looked amazing last night. Might be her time.
And speaking of that filly, we're going to get a chance to look at her performance as well. But we're and here it is right now, and Fabulous Hanover being able to slip up the inside here. Look, that's maybe she, you could say she worked out a trip. She found a seam up the inside, but I tell you what, it's not easy to start up a horse like that up the inside yet again, especially when you've got one like Day on the outside who had all the momentum.
Yeah, and I mean, it shows the smarts of her too, because she wears a Murphy blind on the outside, and so he had to slip her up a really, really tight opening with James on the outside. She never bothered with it at all, just went and did her business. Just a really, really smart kind of a horse, and very impressive. And the ears are straight up, the plugs are in, and the barn that she comes out of. She's got a lot to look forward to, this young lady.
Got a chance to speak with Nancy Tactor as well after that victory. I think after that performance, I think she's going to be pointed towards the. She's a great lady as well, and a filly last night who actually won at the Meadowlands too. Scott Ziron also confirming that the filly that his girlfriend Megan Scran trains Perfect Thought.
Right.
She captured the New Jersey Classic final. She'll be making her way here to Canada as well. So we always want to see the entry box being full here for these stakes events, because it makes the nights even better. Talk about some gutsy efforts, though. I mean, Perfectly Chic fending off horses to her outside, to her inside, and just getting the job done. Bobby with the recommendation of that bridle change, and I thought it paid dividends last night.
He said they went to a setup with just the small slits cut in the back. Now the Murphy blind, she's going to see a little bit on that one, but the right one, she's going to be able to see a little bit more of him. And boy, she raced good. Like again, just like you said there, she's got horses coming up the inside of her. She's got a live horse coming on the outside of her. What she do? She just keeps going with them and keeps the head out in front. Just a natural racehorse, this girl.
And Bob and John have been a great tandem in the way they want to handle horses, the way they bring them along. But really happy for Steve Mahalik. Just one of those. There's plenty of good guys in the industry. Steve is a class individual, so to see him having success with this filly, really happy to see that.
Yeah, me too. Really one of the good guys.
Big time.
Anytime you get a chance to talk to him, I would take the opportunity. Really, really good guy.
Yeah, and speaking of last night, though, we were also going to get a chance to look at some of the wagering highlights over the course of last night. And we did see some favorites get the job done. We did see some low-priced winners as well, but we also saw some great performances from some of our participants as well. And Bobby McClure was your star of the card last night, and just as you gave him that title, he ends up winning the finale as well.
And paid big, didn't he? I think he was a bit of a long shot in the final.
Drawing a blank who the winner was.
In the finale, wasn't he? I think he was. I don't think he was a favorite in the final. I wouldn't be surprised, unless, he probably took a lot of support because of the night that he's going there. And he's in a happy mood. This is a nice picture. So scrape the hair off your chin there, Mr. McClure.
Yeah, one last wish getting the job done in the finale.
One last wish, but she wasn't the favorite.
She wasn't the favorite. No, 5-1, but
I had her in for second.
Got a chance to speak with Kenny as well, and the filly just didn't have, the mare, I should say, didn't have the same mojo coming in over her last few starts. But you see some horses, they get a few weeks off and they can freshen up again.
Yeah.
And, Kenny made that chewing change as well. Did he go to aluminum to steel?
Yeah. And she had a better post, had a drop down in class, and he gave her a hell of a trip, Bobby.
And again, that jackpot high five, as we can see on the bottom there, continuing to grow. And we hope that it can continue to grow and grow. Unless you're a lucky winner who's going to take home 6 figures, but I love those mandatory payouts. That's kind of when I lock in and focus, because it's a great wagering opportunity. So, plenty to look forward to from a stakes standpoint, but if that pot continues to grow, we're going to have more than just a stakes action to look forward to. We're going to have some great wagering opportunities as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great time of the year, my friend.
Yep, and speaking of wagering here, we've got a nice Saturday 12-pack. Let's dig into some of the action here, because
3 pick 5s tonight.
3 pick 5s tonight. So race 1, 6, and 8, right?
Yes.
All right, so I'm looking forward to that as well. We've also got 3 stakes events as well, some Simcoe and Champlain action. But we're going to kick off race number 1, as we always do here, the early pick 5, guaranteed at $75,000. And look, the Rail Horse Blue Hunt, we know this is a really good spot for this guy. He's been facing tougher individuals. He's at 4-5 right now, deservedly so. You and I both opting to play against him. I'm going to use him on my pick 5 but you and I are going to go price shopping, and a couple of horses coming out of the same race. The lines might not look appealing, but I thought the efforts were sneaky good.
I thought they were sneaky good as well, So it's interesting there that, we're kind of coming up with the same sort of a scenario. So let's take a replay look on the 6-horse Nautical Hanover, who's going to be my top pick in here. John's going to have another one, but let's take a look at him. So Trevor Henry driving this guy, had the 7-hole, leaving, kind of took him to the back. That was in non-winners of 9,000 last week, same as what he's going to be in here tonight. A little bit tougher tonight, but watch what happens here there. To me, it looks like Trevor, like he's not chasing him or not doing anything. He's just kind of like hanging to him right now. Well, here's what's going to happen that we're going to see is he's going to start to make his move down in through here, and we're going to end up with a little bit of a wheel lock right there. You're going to see Trevor look down to his right, and he is locked on, and him and James are going nowhere now. They are sealed up together, and that's the end of that, and then they finally get unlocked. So I like the way Nautical Hanover's been racing. I'm going to take that last line, and I'm going to toss it. He come 28 seconds on the end of it with his wheel locked, so basically dragging the other horse with him. I'm thinking that he was pretty live in there. He's got a much better post to work with in here. Trevor, he elected to race him from off last week. I got a feeling he might go out of there with him tonight. Yeah. So Nautical Hanover, the way that I'm looking at it, where did you see it?
You know what? That was a horse, when I saw him unhook, I thought he had some pace. Even after, it was just a little bit too late, but we've spoken extensively about the class that this guy possesses when he's on his game. I think that win 2 starts back was a nice confidence-boosting score. This isn't unfamiliar territory for him. He hasn't been at this level in a little while, but he might be trending that way. That's the thing. But I just want to request if producer Javon can maybe cue up that replay one more time. The horse that I like to use on top in this spot, coming out of the same race. And I thought it was a sneaky good effort if we can cue it up one more time. And Nautical Hanover, a sneaky good effort. But I thought my ultimate Snowy, thank you. And my ultimate Snowy, I thought that was a good effort. Last time out, a sneaky good effort. Look, he only picked up a position.
Chad Ratchford driving my ultimate Snowy had the 10-hole right at the back on Trevor's back.
Just a tough draw to work with, moving up in class off what was a pretty good effort with Doug McNair 2 starts back. But you could see the body language of Todd. I thought it was good. And obviously he's looking for a bit of a seam, and there's some horses that are kind of around him. So he's got no room there. He's going to commit to the inside. But there's some horses that are tiring. There's some horses that are kind of blocking him from getting a chance to find a seam. I think this is a horse that's got some go. Again, only finished 9th in this outing, but I think he's going to be even sharper here tonight. James McDonald's going to be aboard. I really do think this is a sneaky good drive, or a sneaky live drive that he's picking up here in this spot. Again, we know that Blue Hunt's going to be tough, especially if he makes the engine, Randy. He's not an easy horse to pass.
Yeah. Where Blue Hunt there, where do you have Blue Hunt in?
I have him in for second.
Me too.
Yeah.
And it's interesting there because a lot of times we see this, if Jody Cullen has 2 in there, Eddie Hensley will grab the 1. But usually I find that normally Travis will drive the one that looks a little bit liver. Don't get caught up with this tonight because maybe Travis is going to go with Wanna Be a Big Star because he's the better of the 2. I say that Blue Hunt is in my opinion, the stronger of the 2 in this class. And the big thing is the 7-horse owned partially by Travis Cullen. The 1-horse not owned at all by Travis Cullen. So I'm guessing that's why he went to the 7-horse in this situation. I think they're both really live, but don't get into the habit of, just automatically going to Travis. I think that Eddie is drawing the better straw in this situation.
I would have to say, and I think the betting public agrees as well. We're hoping for a price to kick off the opening leg of this early pick 5. We're going to move on to race number 3, and we've got a nice group here. And this kicks off the early pick 4, and we've got a field of 8. We've got a lot of horses who have class here, Randy, and we've got some horses that I think are trending upwards, despite taking on tougher company. I went the direction of Rochester Flash in this spot. I think this is a horse who's trending upwards. We could see different opinions here in this race. I see that you're opting to go to It's Major, and you must think that this is a much better spot for him to get rolling again.
Yeah. I mean, when was the last time we seen Major down in non-winners of 15,000?
Yep.
He's been racing great. He had a great first start out in Charlottetown, but the second one, I don't know what happened there, but boy, oh boy, he just did not have his mojo on the end of it. And then he comes back after a couple of weeks off, races in the Open, and I thought it was a good account of himself in there. He paced 53-4 on the end of it for a mile and 49-4. Hadn't raced in a couple of weeks. They didn't do much with him. So I think that he's coming into this race much, much better. Like I said, last week he's in the Open. only gets beat 4 lengths this week, non-winners of 15,000. I think that he is in a really, really good spot.
I think he needed a start like that too, because I'll tell you one thing, I think there's plenty of cause for concern when you see an effort like that in the Gold Cup and Saucer final. I mean, he was not himself whatsoever.
Not at all.
I was relieved to see him back in the box a couple of weeks later. And again, I think he just needed that trip in what was a tough spot, but he can go with those at his best. But just tough to go and ask a horse to kind of do that, given what we saw in PEI. But one that draws well is likely going to be confidently handled in this spot. I slotted him maybe a little bit too low in this spot. I just wonder if maybe he needs a few more starts to get acclimated. He's gone some big miles, Randy. Sometimes I also wonder, I mean, how much can those kind of catch up to you? But again, this is a group where he should be competitive against.
Yeah, and the thing that kind of where I went to him is I kind of look at it as the class has been wrote for him. You know what I mean? Because like it's non-winners of 15 last 4 starts. We usually do last 5, and his last 5, he's got almost 25,000 made. So to me, in a way, it was almost wrote for him. And I think that Renee is going to take the bull by the horns and try to capitalize in this situation tonight, because at some point he probably is going to go back up to the Open and have to race a lot tougher. And Renee sending in a bridle change on him. Can't see back to an Open bridle tonight.
Well, and I think Right Mirror Rose, now that McNair's back aboard, I mean, the efforts haven't been stellar against some tough company as well, but I expected a little bit more given the talent that this guy has. But Doug's back aboard, good draw to work with. I think this is a horse that could wake up with him back in the bike this evening.
Did you use 2?
I think I might have used him underneath, but I think this is a tough group.
Yeah, I do. He's had some time off, Captain Fear Not. But if they've got a good mile into him, this is a really, really nice horse.
All right, that kicks off the race 3. Kicks off the early pick 4. We're going to move on to race number 4, and this kicks off the pick 6 sequence. And look, I think we were all excited to see the matchup between All-Star Maniac and Crackshot yet again here in the Simcoe Stakes. All-Star Maniac unfortunately scratched in this spot. Just hopefully it's nothing too serious. We know that Nick and George aren't going to take any chances here if their colt or one of their horses aren't feeling 100%. But look, Crackshot's coming off a nice runner-up effort last time out, and I know you praised the drive big time last time out because he put himself in a good spot, and I think it was by virtue of what the driver elected to do early on in that mile. So you want to highlight that effort as well.
Yeah, my biggest thing is you'll hear about it sometimes as a driver, and I've experienced it too. There is that you more or less go into a race with a loosely kind of game plan in your mind, and the reason that you keep it loose is because you got to change all the time. And watching Dougie change his mind at full speed, I think this is great. So let's take a look at this. Now, this is Doug driving Crackshot here. Billy Davis has got Sterling Choice, and James has
All-Star
Maniac. Now, Billy gets ahead, and now watch Dougie. He'll go to the rail, but he doesn't like what James is about to do. He moves back off the rail, gets in between them. He's not going to get away third and have to be first over. He's now going to get away in the deuce, coast along on James's back, and then go from there. Now we can go to the head of the lane on this there. Well done, Mr. McNair. Now here he comes. He's in a good spot, and he's going to take a shot at him, and he's not going to get the job done. As simple as that. All-Star Maniac right now is really, really good. We knew he got locked in the start before, so he's just on his game right now. But a great job done by McNair on this thing. I'll tell you, his driving sometimes is at a completely different level than mine ever was. I can tell you that. And like I said, he's not going to be able to get the job done, but he certainly has got the best of the rest, and we're not going to see All-Star Maniac tonight.
It's all about positioning. Sometimes races can be won or lost from the moment the gate opens up. And he put himself a winning spot, and you stretch out the main foe in that spot early on in the mile as well, and hope maybe that's going to have an effect later on in the stretch. It proved that it didn't. All-Star Maniac, just a sharper colt right now. Crackshot is a very sharp colt himself, but there's just one that seems to be a little bit better at this current point. But, the company that Crackshot's been taking on, the tries in Kentucky and those Kentucky Sire Stakes events, he's hanging in there in some big miles, and look at the company he's taking on. He's building off what was a really good rookie campaign, Randy, and, he kind of took off in the second half of the year, obviously winning the grassroots final. Yep. And, he had the opportunity to enter the super final, and he proved he ain't no grassrooter. He's a gold colt, and beyond just that, he's a really good colt.
He's a really, really good colt, no doubt about that. And like I said, I'm such a fan of driving like that. it's something when you're out there, you know, you're going for $90,000 and you got to change your mind just like that in the splits, you know, in a tenth of a second. And he's able to do that all the time. Well done, Mr. McNair.
I think now, the game plan's probably going to be much different now here in this spot. I see him getting a lot of respect in this spot, not even at the windows, but just, in the rates itself. And you're going to have to step up your game to beat Crackshaw. Although I will say, we have seen him in spots in the past this year. We thought that he was a layover, and he's gotten beat at a short number. So, but right now, this guy's cracking good right now, I'd say.
I would have to think, Don. You know, maybe he needs this too to get a little bit of mojo going back again.
All right, we're going to move on to race number 6 here, and that kicks off the late pick 5. And again, as you mentioned, we've got 3 pick 5s here this evening, and we're going to look at a field of 7 here for the Champlain Stakes for 2-year-old pacing colts. No Bojangles here because Doc Moore obviously mentioned that opting to just give him a week off with no harness, but we've still got such a nice group, a really nice group of pacing colts here. And, many of which have been chasing the likes of Bojangles, and while they've been racing really well, you just got to find a little bit more to get to that Doc Moore training. I think this is such a great opportunity for so many of these colts in here, to capture a stakes victory as well. We know Till the Cows Come Home has had success so far this year. A colt who's had 2 wins and 4 runner-up efforts. He's going to be tough to beat in this spot because, again, he's never put forth a bad effort so far this year. They've all been stellar performances. Is that the direction that you went?
Yeah. I mean, he gets away from Bojangles. I think he needs this.
Yep.
If you look at his lines, right? I mean, every time that he's not in against Bojangles, where is he in the winner's circle? So I think he kind of needs to get away from this guy. Now, last week too, McClure did a great job with Bojangles because he got him back to the front at some point, made a big move to get him there, and he got him there, and he kept Jody down on his back. Now, that being said, Jody's horse was extremely live.
Yep.
So let's take a replay Till the Cows Come Home. This last start for him. And like I said, multiple moves. He had the 5-hole. He stayed out of the early trouble of 25-4. He got away 4th. Then he made his move, 29-1 to get control. And then you're going to see him, like I said, in the 2-hole. And he's live. But McClure ain't letting him get back out again. He's using Louis as a pick like he should be. He's not opening up the rail. They're racing for $140,000. So, but look at the body language on Jody here right now. Him and Dougie both actually, but Dougie's able to kind of move his out, and I think that's about it. But Jody's sealed. And look at McClure. McClure's just doing everything he can just to make sure that Jody does not get off his back. So I thought it was a good effort there. You know what I mean? You can see Jody take a little tap at the end of it, just from experience in that. He had such a hold of him for such a long time there that I think the colt towards the end of it kind of said, and then Jody kind of had to wake him up. That wasn't because he was done. He was very, very good. So that's the way that I'm going to go. Yourself?
I'm glad you highlighted that replay because I went to Redland Rocket Man.
You love this horse.
I've been talking extensively about this guy, and I think Louis and John have done a great job with this colt.
Me too.
Obviously, I think he caught our attention in that win at Grand River, and then he stepped up, and I think Bob and John both confirmed that this guy's a gold caliber colt, and I think he's proved exactly that. First over last week against Bojangles, he just hung around to be a third, just missing for second in that spot. Look, he draws well. And I think you want to take advantage of some of these, stakes events, especially with a good draw. This was a horse that John had mentioned to me earlier on that was a little bit hot. I mean, Louis had him from the outside. He didn't rush out of there with him. He kind of raced him a little bit conservatively to teach him how to be a little bit calmer and teach him how to be a racehorse. Still young in their careers, and you don't want to get them too stirred up early on. But he left out of there last time out. I mean, at some point you got to take a shot. Louis did. I think in this spot you got to take a shot as well. But we haven't even mentioned Sweet Love and Lou, Randy. Speaking
Where
of
you got him?
I got him in for a second tonight.
Me too.
And it was tough for me to flip flop either Sweet Love and Lou or Till the Cows Come Home. But Sweet Love and Lou, speaking about some hot colts, sometimes he looks like a little bit full of himself. I think there's talent there, but you have to figure there's also some maturing. But this is a colt who's got a lot of talent, and I think Danny Legacy's got to be really pleased with this guy.
Yeah, and if anybody that was watching last night, you seen John Rawlis interviewing Louis Waugh in the winner's circle, Louis kind of alluded to the fact that, even though he's in Scioto tonight, really looking forward to driving Irvin Hanover, doesn't like the idea of giving up some of the drives that he has to give up here. And I think that he really, of all the horses, this is the one, Redland Rocket Man. I do not think he wants to give that up. He also mentioned to us too that he was the one that had to give up Bojangles.
It's the way it works, right? You've been in that position as well, where you've kind of lost drives and picked up drives. You know, eventually it kind of all comes full circle. But race number 7 here, as we look at a group of 9 here, and there's some sharp racehorses in this spot, and none sharper than the morning line favorite, Out of Ice. One that looks like he's going to be the standout at the grassroots level. You know, grassroots, this isn't a grassroots try, but this is a spot where he's taking on the likes of grassroots caliber horses, and for me, it's tough to go against him given how sharp he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's incredibly sharp right now. So let's take a look at the replay on Out of Ice, because that's where I'm going to. And you got to remember, too, look at his lines, you know, 24 days in between these two starts. You know, his second last start down in Sarnia on August the 2nd, and then this one, August the 26th here. And to me, either this colt is really coming into the back half of the season sharp, or he is just incredibly sharp right now. So Louis Waugh doing the driving on this Carl Jamieson one. And I mean, look at the body language on Louis here. And I mean, this horse that's on his back right now, this is no slouch, the Silver Walls. This is a pretty good colt himself. This is a nice group too, but look at Louis. I mean, this guy is really starting to come into his back. I mean, Carl has got 3 viciously talented pacing colts right now, you know, and I think he's off for a big night tonight.
Big time. And Out of Ice, one that they've been high on as a rookie. I mean, Jody and Carl have spoken to me about this guy during his rookie campaign and said he's got speed, he's got talent. He was never quite able to kind of put it together. You know, he's putting it together as a sophomore right now, the same way we're seeing with 5th and 5. Although 5th and 5, you know, was taking on some tough company as a rookie. Out of Ice right now just seems to be putting it together. And like we see with 5th and 5, Randy, there's a lot of confidence with this colt. Yeah.
I think he's off. Carl's putting himself up to a huge night.
And speaking of 5th and 5, we're gonna get a chance to preview him here in race number 8 here in this Simcoe for 3-year-old pacing colts. And I think all eyes are going to be on II Captain Deo, who I thought put forth a really nice performance last time out against older rivals, some good ones at that. You know, his tries in Kentucky weren't as sharp as maybe the efforts we've seen from him in the past. I think that's exactly what he needed last time up, but I think 5th and 5 is going to be his biggest threat.
Oh, no doubt about that. I agree with you. I think that these two are really going to, you know, separate themselves tonight. So which one are we going to look at first, producer Javon? Okay, so let's take a look at my top pick then. 5th and 5, another Jamieson horse. And I mean, to me, this is the star of the Jamieson stable. This horse, to me, is going to really, you know, at some point, we're going to see this guy racing in the open somewhere. This is a really, really high-quality horse. And they've done such an amazingly good job with this horse all last year and all this year, you know, to the tune of $300K. And look at the body language already on Jody, you know, with this guy. And what I really like about this guy, too, is the body that he possesses, just the fact that he's built to take a war. You know, he's not an overly big horse, but boy, he's put together just the way that you want to see it. And the big thing that with him, though, is that it's that attitude that he brings. He does not want to lose. Right at this point, you know what I mean? You know, this is a good colt that he's trying to take on. And at this point, he says, no, I'm gone, and he is gone. And here comes Louis flying at him, but, you know, he's not going to have anything to do with it, too. They could have went around another 5 times, and they weren't going to touch 5th and 5. So 5th and 5, nice effort there. But let's take a look at the other one that, you know, also a really, really nice effort as well, and that's II Captain Deo. Yeah,
look at the body language from him. I mean, speaking of which, this is exactly what he needed, though, Randy. I mean, a start like this, and, you know, Gary Murner was thrilled with his performance and how his colt finished. And you could see James just sitting towards the back of the pack, fourth along the inside. You know, he's still looking for room up the inside, but all he's hoping for at this point is A, a seam, and B, just hope this colt's got enough go and shows a little bit of pop. I'm sure Gary was thinking the same. He angles him out to the outside, and I'd say he's got some pop, Randy.
Oh, does he
so
ever?
I think he's ready for the stakes event tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, really looks good there, striding right out, and especially on the run out. Here, you know, you'll see him come flying. There he is. Wow. I mean, what a run out on him. out 6 wide doing it too. So really two very, very sharpies in there. I threw Century Lucifer in for third.
Yep.
I think that there's something, that's going to happen in the next couple of weeks with this guy. I think there's a lot of talent there, and he comes in a really, really good barn too. So I am going to throw him in there as part of my triactor.
I think he needed that start after being scratch sick last time out. But it's fun. You speak about confidence all the time as well. I mean, you want to praise how guys manage certain horses. Carl spoke about it in that post-race interview with me last time out. They always knew he was a gold colt, 5th and 5, but you just want to start developing some confidence, right? And he was able to do that at the grassroots level, and he's here to stay at the gold level now, especially after the performances he's been putting forth lately. Look, it's an underrated aspect, confidence, right? Big time.
Huge underrated. Yep. It either is going to work for you or it'll work against you. I think that they did an incredible job bringing this colt along the way that they have. Again,
look, 2 wins last year. Now he's got 7 trips to the winner's circle this year, and he's razor sharp. We're going to move on to race number 10 here this evening here, and we've got a really nice group of open pacers here. I mean, a preferred 2 here, a field of 6. There's a lot of horses coming off some really sharp efforts, I'd say, in this spot. Morning line favorite's going to be Calico Jack Hanover. I'm going to opt to make this guy a single. I made him my best bet this evening, Randy, off a mile like that in 49 flat. He's going to step up against tougher company, but I think that he can handle that step up. But there's some other horses I thought that raced really, really well, and one that you want to highlight in particular.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I thought Arbitrage Hanover raced incredibly well. I got him in for 4th.
Your top
horse.
pick last week, right? Was Arbitrage your top pick last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, he raced really well.
He did. He come flying on the end of it, hopefully if he's a little bit closer here tonight or the flow works out a little bit better and he's close, he could come up with a big one. But I'm going to go Dublin Dasher, and the biggest reason why is I like this horse right from the time that Travis has brought him here. He hasn't won the preferred, but boy, oh boy, he is really, really close. So let's take a replay of the last time that Dublin Dasher raced, had the 10 hole in the open going for 60,000. Eventual winner is going to be a Buckabet Hanover, Fun Time Bayama, Century Komodo. He doesn't really necessarily going to face any of those ones in here tonight. But it's still a really, really nice group. But what I like about this guy, John, is look how close this guy gets to almost getting the job done. And look at the price, 80 to 1. 80 to 1, my friend. In a short field like this, I'm going to roll the dice here. Here he comes with Travis on the outside. I'm going to roll the dice, hope that the shorter field keeps him a little bit closer and that he finally is able to get the job done. Because if I can get anywhere close to that price, I'll buy you a beer.
He hasn't.
I don't even drink.
I'll take that any day of the week. I hope he wins. Added incentive for me to win. But Dublin Dasher won that. Came close on July 12th at this level. One that's inching closer, though.
Yeah.
And
he's only 4 years old.
Yep.
Maybe he's seeing a little sophomore jinx, or maybe he's overachieving a little bit as a 4-year-old. Either way, they got themselves a pretty nice horse.
I tell you what, Travis Cullen's ownership group and whatnot, they've got a great eye for talent, for shopping. I mean, they bring these horses over, and horses that become aged horses and put forth some good miles here on the big track and just stay consistent. I mean, they know what they're doing when they buy these horses.
They do.
Yeah.
And you said your top pick's going to be Calico Jack?
Yeah, I just think I think that effort was really good.
Yeah, and so I got him in for 3rd, just to say out too, he was a great, great winner last week, plugs in.
Yeah.
At no point did they pull the plugs on this guy, so I think that there was quite a bit left in there.
And we know Tarasi, he can bounce back. That wasn't himself.
No.
But a horse that I'm looking forward to, a race that I'm looking forward to as well, and you could see differing in opinions as well, some 5s, some 4s, and some 2s there in race number 10. That's going to be the last leg of the late pick 5. And speaking of pick 5s, we're going to preview our early pick 5 thoughts here. We're going to start off with your ticket first, Randy, and let's go through your ticket.
Okay, typical. Got the all on the bottom of it there. So I started off with 3 deep. Nautical Hanover was going to be my top pick, but I also threw Blue Hunt and My Ultimate Snowy in there as well. I think My Ultimate Snowy is your top pick. Right, so race number 2, I went 4, 6 in there. I went Century Inspector and I went Highland Beach Lover. Now, Bold Spirit I have in for 2nd, but I don't really look at him as a win candidate in this race, but I could see Century Inspector going that route, and I could see Highland Beach Lover, so I'm going to go that route there. And in race number 3, here come the singles. It's going to be It's Major, getting a bridle change tonight, and a drop. Race number 4, I'm going to go Crack Shot, single him. And then in race number 5, I think I can catch a price. Like, I really like Elliott Moose in here, but I think that even if he doesn't get there, I think I can catch a price.
Tough race.
It is
really
a tough
race there. I went 3 deep in that final leg, but I think you and I used the same same 3 to kick off the early pick 5 there. I'm with you. 1, 2, 6 for me. I found race 2 to be really tough, so I went 4 deep there. Highland Beach Lover at his best. I think he's going to be the one to beat, but we don't know which version we're going to get. Race 3, I'm going all in on Rochester Flash. I'm going to take a little bit of a swing there, hope that he can work out a good trip. And this is a horse that I think is trending upwards, so a bit of a swing for me, but I'm going to give it a shot. Crack shot, I think a single for many now. In race 5, I'm going 2, 4, 8. Rapasso, I really liked the effort last time out. I think he'll be sharper second time over the big track and second start here for new trainer Dean Nixon. So we've got some similar thoughts there in that early pick 5, and you've got a couple of different ticket ideas that you can tail.
In race number 5 there, Stonebridge Helios moving camps.
Yeah.
Did I threw him in for 4.
I gotta see it first.
Yeah. I threw him in on the bottom of it, but interesting.
Very interesting as well. All right, there's our thoughts here during this 12 pack this evening. As always on a Saturday, we've got an anthem singer here on site, and we're going to go directly right there for the national anthem.
Yes, I'd like to direct everybody's attention to the winner's circle here at Mohawk Park as we welcome back to Mohawk Park Mackenzie Clare for the singing of our Canadian anthem. Mackenzie is a registered practical nurse and entrepreneur passionate about supporting Indigenous communities in addressing health inequities. She has great interest in working with First Nations, Inuit, and Métis communities, committed to learning, listening, and building respectful, authentic relationships that support self-determined health solutions. Creativity drives everything she does, maybe a spark from her Toronto film school days. Whether it's healthcare, business, or car karaoke, she brings curiosity, compassion, and collaboration to every project. She's once again thrilled to be performing the national anthem this evening as we welcome Mackenzie Clare. If you are able, please rise for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see the rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Great stuff, Mackenzie. Thanks again for being here at Mohawk Park as we are getting closer to kicking off this 12-pack with some stakes action. Really looking forward to it. 17 minutes away from race number 1 as we take another look at tonight's changes.